Across the country, Americans are feeling the squeeze, from rising healthcare costs to devastating program cuts. Trump's latest plan includes slashing vital programs with zero checks and balances, even as his approval nosedives. The backlash is growing, even from conservative media. But the cruelty doesn't stop there. Now it's even worse, as a Republican senator just shocked Medicaid recipients with a deplorable comment. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avalone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Sadly, it's true. Trump's big, beautiful bill is so ugly, it is tearing apart America. Even Fox News is talking about how Trump's bill is hurting his overall approval and could be a warning for 2026 elections.
And the truth is that the Democrats are very unpopular. But so is a lot of what Donald Trump is doing. So in polling, Marquette, Fox News, all the goodies, he's down 16 on the economy, down 14 on foreign policy, 26 on handling tariffs, and 32 on cost of living. And this reconciliation bill that they're trying to pass through the Senate right now has opposition from more senators than they can handle. So you've got the Josh Hawleys of the world, who's miraculously concerned about throwing people off Medicaid. Rick Scott and Maria Bartiromo was raking him over the coals this morning about his views. So if this is the big ticket item, right, this is the big marquee agenda piece that we're going to give tax cuts to the wealthy and we're going to take away food assistance and Medicaid, so we're hurting the poor to help the rich. That does not bode well for 2026 for the Republicans or for 2028, when we're going to have a big, beautiful primary and we will get a great candidate and everyone will forget about the hoity-toity.
Yeah, but as if that's not bad enough, Trump and his administration want to keep on passing reckless policies, and they want to do it without any checks and balances.
Whenever a judge rules against this administration, you say they're going rogue. Do you think a judge should just rubber stamp what your White House does? If not, what checks and balances do you think should be in place for this White House?
It is not the job of a district court judge to perform an individual green light or red light on every single policy that the president takes as the head of the executive branch. Just think about the premise baked into your question, respectfully, Pam. You're saying that when the American people elect a president of the United States of America,
I'm not saying
well, it's the implication, who is the sole head of the executive branch. Well, let me finish. I will answer the question happily. But look, when you have these kinds of lazy assumptions built into questions, it makes it hard to have a constructive dialogue.
What is a lazy assumption? I said you all had to win.
You said is it my expectation?
I'm speaking
you
because
said,
now you're putting...
You said, is it my expectation? It's not just you. It's the whole media. In other words, when you
I know
hear
you
a
want to
sentence
loop
like...
us on. It is a completely fair question. You say judges who rule against the White House
and I will
go rogue.
gladly answer it. When you say, do we think district court judges should rubber stamp each action? There is a premise that is built into that is absurd.
This America is becoming unrecognizable, but it gets even more heartless. That's right, Republicans can still go lower. As recently, a Republican senator shocked Medicaid recipients with a despicable comment. It all started when Iowa Senator Joni Ernst was hosting a town hall. It already wasn't going so good.
My name is Harrison Cass. I'm a former naval line officer. Are you afraid of Trump? Are you corrupt like Trump? Or are you just at the point you don't care anymore and that's why you don't do anything?
No. No, first, thank you for your service. I do appreciate that. Obviously, I don't agree because I don't think our country is being destroyed. On the other hand, I see that our country is being with the federal government, and because I've worked on these squeal issues for so long, I'm not squealing, ma'am.
But once she was confronted about cutting Medicaid, everything really began to spiral.
So when we're talking about the corrections in this reconciliation bill, again, it's corrections of overpayments and people that have not been eligible for these programs by law as it is currently written. So when you are arguing about illegals that are receiving Medicaid benefits, 1.4 million, 1.4, they are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die.
Yeah, you heard that correctly. She just wrote off the fact that a bunch of her constituents could face life or death situations, and she just wrote it all off as, well, we're all gonna die. Oh my god. Go to hell, Karen. Not only was Senator Joni Ernst's comment heartless, it was a lie. Let's be clear, undocumented immigrants are not eligible for Medicare, Medicaid, or CHIP, and they can't legally enroll in federally funded healthcare programs. The only availability they have is in rare, dire situations. Hospitals can be reimbursed for emergency care only, and even that spending accounts for just 0.4% of total Medicaid costs. The claim that 14 million undocumented immigrants are on Medicare is a fabrication. In fact, immigrants under age 65 are less likely to be on Medicaid than US-born citizens, 19% versus 23%. And immigrants actually use less healthcare overall, with annual costs nearly a third lower than native-born citizens. Far from draining the system, immigrants are propping it up. They pay billions in taxes, stabilize Social Security and Medicare, and make up a significant share of the healthcare workforce, including 28% of long-term care workers. Long story short, the problem isn't immigrants abusing the system. The problem is this Republican senator abusing the truth. Immigrants aren't bankrupting our system. They're helping hold it together. But instead of facts, Republican leaders are choosing fear. When vulnerable families are on the line, that kind of dishonesty isn't just shameful, it's dangerous. And if this is how Republicans treat the truth, just imagine how Republicans will treat your healthcare.